Above all, every person must place his or her role in the battle to dismantle corruption, not with words alone, but with action. As young people, your refusal to be silent, your call for a new culture of integrity is our nation's greatest hope. As you are all aware, the Parliament of Ghana bears a constitutional and moral responsibility I think your system has been corrupted. I take this once again. As you are all aware, the Parliament of Ghana bears a constitutional and moral responsibility to contribute to eradicating corruption and ensuring that governance is not only efficient, but ethical. Good governance goes beyond making laws. It is about how power is exercised and how to ensure that those laws reflect the needs, priorities, and aspirations of the people. Parliament has undertaken major reforms with the aim to strengthen the governance of the country, better protect the public purse, and hold public institutions to account for their stewardship. It has, as an institution, established various committees of Parliament, such as the Committee on Assurances. Now, we don't say government assurances. We have opened it up to all assurances. Budget Committee, a budget committee that will have an early entry into the budget process to assist the executive to get our priorities right and to assist the executive to allocate the resources consequentially before even they finalize the budget and bring it to the House. We have also established the Economy and Development Committee. We used to handle only Finance Committee. There was not much focus on the economy and development. And we also have now a committee on human rights, which is very critical when you are dealing with governance structures. These are all meant to enable Parliament to exercise its oversight function properly and effectively. The Committee on Assurances, for example, will pursue the execution of every assurance. And I mean every here, not ministers or president, but even members of Parliament. The promises they make, the undertakings they make to other Parliament or ministries, and those of committee chairpersons, members themselves, and state functionaries. We also we are expecting the Committee on Human Rights to consider matters relating to the promotion and protection of human rights generally. And so very soon, you see members of Parliament, particularly the committee members, moving ahead to areas where there are cries of abuse of human rights. And we started doing that. We will also use that to scrutinize the bills and other enactments in order to ensure their compatibility with international human rights law, norms, and standards. These committees and others are effective parliamentary oversight mechanisms that enable Parliament to hold the executive and public officials accountable for their actions as public officers. In order to expand and deepen civic participation in governance in general, and the work of Parliament in particular, Parliament established the departments of Public Engagement, Citizens Bureau, Media Relations, and Broadcasting to disseminate and coordinate information exchange between Parliament and civil society, and to facilitate the collation of views of civil society on matters of public interest. Civil society in this context refers to the media, think tanks, academia, and research institutions, civil society organizations, CBOs, and the private sector. Furthermore, Parliament established the Petitions Committee, which makes it possible for citizens to submit petitions on matters of public interest to Parliament through a member of Parliament for redress. I'm also pleased to note that Parliament is working closely with development partners to digitize its operations, enhance transparency, and improve citizens' access to Parliament. We must go further. And I'm happy that our development partners, such as the World Bank and the United Kingdom's Office for Commonwealth and Development, have also decided to support Parliament, to strengthen Parliament, and to make Parliament more efficient and effective. And they have promised to support Parliament with $1.6 million within 18 months because of the new reforms that we introduced since I became Speaker in 2021. Without building a culture of integrity in our homes, and I'm happy your Executive Director referred to our homes, our families. Without building integrity in our schools, our churches and mosques, our communities, and yes, in our political systems, there cannot be a better tomorrow. I was a student leader before. Those of us, all you see in leadership, in politics, were here before, and were leaders. And we went through all these processes you are going through. In fact, we're even more daring than you, because we could face Muwaks on the road with empty hands, fighting them. Some died before we were able to liberate Ghanaians from, at that time, very endemic corruption, where people straight in your face with impunity will spit into your face because you are talking about corruption. So some of us sacrificed our lives and fought seriously. And they were the uprising and the revolution. These days, there are some of confused people who keep on confusing you about why we had a revolution. I don't know why they don't tell you about why the French had a revolution. And that the cause, in fact, the last straw of that revolution was just the price of bread. But millions were killed. They celebrate that revolutionary day today. They still celebrate it. Ghana, a small uprising, which turned into a revolution, being led by young military officers, is seen as an anathema and not to be celebrated. And so as you grow up, there's nothing to prick your minds to ask why that thing happened. And you start falling into the same trap. yet, I'm happy you mentioned the judiciary. They ruled against the celebration of the Revolutionary Day. Whilst Americans celebrate theirs, and yet they applaud that one. And they applaud the one in France, in other countries, but not in Ghana. There must be something wrong with us. So I agree with you that we need to build culture of integrity right from the foundation stone of society. It starts from the home. We need a generation that sees public office not as a means of personal